Today, Precarious plays
Deus Ex, Mankind Divided. Look both ways before crossing the street. Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. We are like feet from where we were in the middle of the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Oh.
But isn't that just the nature of this map?
Should probably change that.
Everything is kind of packed in on itself.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes what's the point of games? What's the value of games? Because if I say to you, no, you don't, or here's this immersive sim where you can solve the problems your way, and you can do a hack, or you can do a sneak, or you can run in and do a gun. You can do a run and gun. Right?
Yeah.
But then all of those options have to be at least somewhat viable, even if they are not all equally viable in any given scenario. So for example, if every one of the patrolling officers here was in an exosuit, that would make a combat-centric journey much more challenging.
Mm-hmm.
It would make sneaking seem more viable in comparison. Oops, Jensen couldn't surmount that pile of magazines.
Too much. Too big.
So I'm gonna wait here.
Too slicky. Too much coated paper.
Mm-hmm.
It's like basically a pile of banana peels.
So because of that, I think it would be really easy to fall into the trap of like it's generally too easy.
Mm-hmm. What is generally too easy?
The game.
Okay.
I would say that between sessions, I didn't go on a killing spree, but I did go on like a violence spree, just to test the new graphics card.
Yeah.
Or the replacement graphics card.
Yeah.
So I just started tranking and throat punching police officers around the city, just to see like how long I could get away with it, you know? And the combat in this game is pretty demanding just because of how fragile Jensen is. Now, the police, unless they're in an exosuit or something, they are also quite fragile, but there are so many more of them, you know? And it's kind of like in D&D where everybody gets a lot of time. It's the same sort of principle where it's like the number of actions tends to win. Usually determines the outcome, whoever is acting more often.
Yeah.
They're the one that comes out on top. This feels like whenever I play a game like this, I can't help but think they put a lot of time and energy into making this a really broad experience. Would this game be better if Jensen wasn't such an immaculate, impressive super spy? What if Jensen was just garbage at fighting? And there was just a reason why, like, maybe instead of having a policing background, maybe if he had some other... does that make any sense? What if the whole thing was reworked so he started as like an investigative reporter or something, you know? And the Augs from the first game were repositioned. Like maybe he could have been a personal friend of David Seraph.
Or maybe he was their corporate espionage person.
Yeah, well, then I think that he still might have a reason to be familiar with battling in some capacity, you know? But I'm wondering, like, would this game be improved if it were closer to Thief?
Oh, like if it had more narrow parameters?
Right.
I mean, a lot of times, generally, yes, because then you can really focus on expressing a specific path really, really, really well. So, I mean, it would get some attention to detail that it couldn't possibly have otherwise.
But, you know what I think it comes down to?
What?
I think that I should be... And I can't say that and agree with it. Man. Part of me thinks that...
A hot dog.
Evidence.
Hot dog.
Part of me thinks that...
Smiley, I've got the scan.
Yeah? Fantastic! Bring it back to my office and we'll see if I'm right.
Copy that.
I think a big part of the problem is that so much of this game, it is effectively locked away from my perspective because I don't have any interest in playing this game in a way that you're murdering people.
Yeah.
And that also, in many ways, it kind of completely locks me out of a lot of the crafting and gunplay stuff, just because the non-lethal tools... You know what? I think that that's one thing that Metal Gear Solid 4 and some of, like, Peace Walker and Phantom Pain. Phantom Pain? I think that's what the title was. I think that those games got something right because they were like, hey, why did we make all of these systems and then say, but if you want to be moral, if you want to not murder all of these people, you have to play with these weapons that are generally inferior.
Yeah.
And on the one hand, I get it. It's like, yeah, if you want to be moral, it's harder. But it's still always going to be harder in those games because the guards can... If you get spotted, it can cause this chain reaction where all of your work is undone.
Yeah.
So I think that, like, a double penalty of, like, it's harder to knock them out, and then they also have the possibility of effectively rising from the dead.
Yeah.
Of joining the field again. All of that together, I think it...
Ooh, you did it.
That double penalty, I think, was unnecessary.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Metal Gear Solid 4 and the other titles I mentioned, they, I think, got it right by having a wider variety of interesting weapons available, regardless of how you were... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, nope. I'm fine? I'm fine. Okay.
You're fine. You're
Everything's fine. Woo! Fell off some pipes there. That was surprising.
Anyways, you were saying there was a wider variety of interesting things available to do on the non-lethal path.
In Metal Gear Solid 4, I specifically remember an arrow ring shotgun round. Mm-hmm. They had a non-lethal shotgun, you know?
Yeah.
And there were rubber bullets and stuff. And what am I trying to say?
I think that it's interesting that
We'll get whoever did this.
it seems like in the games that make a non-lethal path an option, they certainly don't worry about making it fun. Like, they make it harder. And less fun.
Right, so that was my point. I feel like my perspective of this game is warped because it seems like it's a game that's designed to be played multiple times and you play it differently each go around. But for me, because points are plentiful enough, there's really only one way to play, and that is sneaky super spy with a side of punching people in the side of the head. So maybe this is just a me problem. I look at this and I think like, wow, there's a lot of fat they could have trimmed from this. And they could have like a wider variety of hacking minigames. I don't know how many guns do you have to ditch before you've made like a new tool for sneaking, right? Like here's an example. What if how would I work that? How would that happen? So imagine if Jensen could actively manipulate his glass shield cloaking device.
Yeah.
Maybe like whenever it's engaged, part of the penalty is that it locks camera movement, and instead you move with the left stick and the right stick controls like the primary effect, right? So you can like direct it to the right or direct it to the left, and it's something that's projected in front of him mainly. That could make for a more complicated sneaking experience that could exist if the system didn't, if the game's systems didn't have to be so broad.
Yeah.
Central probably thinks someone might come try to scrub the evidence.
Ornik is riding a rig. What do we need with that kind of firepower? Is an army of ARC fanatics coming to scrub evidence? Everyone already knows they're responsible. Something else is going on.
Just keep it down. You don't question SIS or maybe then you disappear.
What's up?
Do what they want. We just have to keep this site
Just the
closed.
corruption on display.
Fucking
I wasn't
secret
paying attention.
squirrels. At least they were good for a laugh. You see that task force lab coat run out of here with his tail tucked?
They're just talking about like
Urine behind him.
cruddy things that they've witnessed.
Get back on patrol.
That like they know they're here to scrub evidence. And they need to not ask questions or they are going to disappear.
Oh.
So they are under pressures themselves. Because I think I heard them say a buddy of theirs disappeared because they were saying that.
No one trespassing.
I think I'm gonna... Hold on, let me check my map. That's not the map. Is this the map? I think if I go up the stairs, I can go back the way I came. I think that this is gonna take me... Yeah, and then this is the little storage closet. Right, okay. And I should be fine now, unless they spawn in additional people. I don't know what I'm trying to say, actually. I feel like, did I ever finish describing immersive sims? Like what makes an immersive sim?
Not really. We didn't really get into it.
No one knows. It's a mystery. I think immersive sims are a character. Wait, did you just give me the end of the episode?
Yeah,
sign?
I did.
Okay, next time, crash course tutorial on what an immersive sim design looks like.